Welcome to another edition of Let's Play Farming Simulator 2013 on the American Farm. Alright, so today we've got a couple things going on. I feel like I always start every single episode like that. Oh well, I guess that's just the way it is. You kind of get into a groove and you say those types of things, so I guess that's part of the reason why. Alright, so wheat is on great demand. Where am I here? So I set up a course play for this particular guy, so you don't have to watch me do it multiple times this time. And you've already seen me sell some stuff, so I'm just going to go ahead and set him on his way. Yep, I think everything should be okay. Let's just make sure. There we go. And it's helping. Should anything go wrong, I'm sure we'll find out soon enough. So he's on his way. So right now we got the New Holland 8970. He's currently unloading our new case combine that we got last episode, which is over here harvesting soybeans. I progressed time slightly, so now we're, I guess, the next day, I guess is what it will boil down to. We let the crops sit overnight. They were a little too much of a high moisture count on the meter, so we decided to leave it for a day or so, just to make sure that everything was okay, so when we did harvest it, we weren't going to run into any problems. That's why we kind of moved time forward there a little bit there. But that's the new combine in action. Let me just close the HUD here so you can see what it looks like. It's basically identical to the one, just about identical to the one you would get in the titanium pack. Someone asked me if I do indeed have the titanium pack. No, I don't. This is just a mod I randomly found. I decided to try out. It's pretty solid so far. Oof, almost a bit of a crash there. One of the interesting things about this particular combine is you can actually adjust. You see the auger at the end here. You can actually adjust that, so you can make it go up or down basis. So you can adjust where it puts into the trailer or tipper if you want to. If you really want to get that picky about it, I guess. But you can do that, which is a nice little detail. You can't adjust the header up and down, I don't think, though. That was the one thing I noticed. Like the classes, you can adjust the head up and down, but these ones you can't. But in terms of case combines, that's probably one of the nicer ones I've seen. The other one I mentioned, I think I had a while back, was supposed to be one like that, I think. Or an 8000 series, but I really didn't like it. It was too finicky. Over on the other farm here, we got the John Deere. He is currently harvesting soybeans as well, just in a different field. I just loaded up the game and started playing. I wasn't playing before, so course play needs to adjust to where the augers are, basically. That's why he wasn't quite where he was supposed to be. It happens initially, so. Alright. There we go. Now we should be fine there. Yeah, so once he's done that, he's going to take care of everything else. Nice. There we go. Perfect. Alright, so I had a couple suggestions, or people had a couple suggestions in regards to what I was thinking about last episode in regards to the new season. Some of the suggestions included things like making the short episodes a bit longer, so 20 minutes, I think, was the thought that people were saying. I may not make them that long. 15 minutes, I think, is where I want to try and 10 to 15 is where I want to try and keep them. And the reason being is for those people maybe who only have like not even half an hour, 15 minutes or so to sit down and watch something, and they don't really feel like watching a 45-minute episode, one of the longer ones I have. So that's the reason why I trying to keep it like 15 or below, basically. I may go 20 the odd time, but the whole idea behind the other season, the smaller map, is to make it shorter, basically, for those people who do want a shorter episode. One of the other suggestions, let's just sit here and watch the cows for a second. One of the other suggestions was about getting another semi, and I like the suggestion. I just need to see if we have what options we have, basically. There was that suggestion, and one other suggestion was I should get an overloader for the other field. And think it was Alex Smith, I think, suggested that. And he's right. I really should get an overloader for the field way down there. But that means I can't do what I'm doing right now. So in either case, that would mean I would need 2 trucks. Now, a couple of our options in terms of trucks. We got the Bullnose Kenworth. That is an option. That's a cheap option, at least. It's got a sleeper cabinet. We don't really need a sleeper cab. We got the B model Mac, 34,000. This one we really don't need. We're not doing any heavy hauling, so it's not a big problem. What other options do we have available? Where are we at? I think this one's down the bottom here somewhere. The day cab's in traffic. Someone suggests I get the Crass. Unfortunately, this truck I wouldn't be able to get because it is not a North American truck. That's the reason why I'm staying away from that one. That was one of the rules we originally set on this map. Oh, it's not in traffic. What's he talking about? That was one of the original rules we set when we first started this map, was try and stick with North American equipment, and that, my friend, does not fall into that category, unfortunately. Although I do really like that truck. I wish more trucks acted like that one does, I should say. Alright, wow. This is what happens when you add all your mods back. Jeez, there's so many of them. This is a nice truck, but we don't need a sleeper cab again. We could get the Kenworth. That's a possibility. A bit on the expensive side, but it would get the job done. That's 70 grand for that one. We could get the same truck again, but that's not very much fun. What do we have in miscellaneous? Or MISC, as my old friend from university say MISC all the time. I don't know why, but oh goodness. The Scania, that's not going to work. That's way too expensive as well. It's also not North American, so we have B model Mac. I think I'll forego that. That would be more like for a classic style map. This one, I don't like the way it acts on the road very much, but it is cheap, so it's definitely an option. That's heavy haul. Don't need that. What do we got here? Yeah, I guess we really don't have that many options. For some reason, I thought I had a lot more options. Oh, many more. Alright, so this is how it's going to go. We are going to go with... we already have a Peterbilt. So let's go with the Kenworth. And what this allows us to do is let's get them to deliver that to our locale. There we go. Put this in group 9. What this allows us to do is take care of a couple other things. So right now, let me just open up our information tab here. So now, what we can do is we can do 2 things at once, basically. Is what it boils down to. So right now we have pigs we can sell. So we're gonna go ahead and take care of that. It's not selling grains this time; it's selling pigs. Go figure, eh? And our cows do need some mixed rations. Should take care of that at some point too. So this is another. For those of you who haven't seen this, oh yeah. For those of you who haven't seen this truck before, this is the T800 Kenworth. It is known as, both the trucks I'm using right now are actually Duke's trucks. A couple of the models I really like. This one and the other one, the Peterbilt 379 day cab. Well, what am I doing? I don't need to go all the way over here. So those are the 2 trucks that two of the main trucks I like that are North American style trucks. Both of them are really nice. The other ones I have, the Scania actually isn't that bad. I checked it out. It's nice. I don't like it as much as these style, but that's just me, I guess. Alright, now let's make sure I get that in there properly. That's close enough. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to let that guy load up those pigs because they just reproduce like there's no tomorrow. And let's just take a quick little peek at some other options we have available to us. Tippers, corn huskers are 50 grand. We could get another corn husker and use that for an overloader. That is possible. Is there something that might be a bit smaller, maybe? Something that's good, that's smaller? Not really. This one's cheaper. No, it's not a cheaper. It holds about this, a bit more, not by much. And there's this one, but that won't work very well. Yeah, they don't have that. There's this, but that's more expensive, less capacity, so not really worth it. Yeah. Not that many options. Not many options that I like, let's say that. There are some other possible options, but I tend to stick to the mods I like, because the mods I don't like, they don't work very well, which is why I don't like them for the most part. Yeah, that's it. That's all we got. Alright, we'll have to wait for the time being and see what's what. Let's go back in our Kenworth here. How much wheat do we have left? Not much. 2 loads. That's it. That's what happens when you set courseplay. It makes short work of that stuff. Jeez. That's crazy. And I think it should come down here. It's already turned, it looks like. So this is my other truck that I used last season, the Kenworth. Really nice truck. Good looking interior. It's got the little mirror or little window down there as well. Has some pretty good pickup. 85 kilometers, 86 kilometers, which is pretty nice, and it sticks to the road nicely. I find the bullnose Kenworth, the one that Dirt Hebbers used in the Duke farming map. I found that particular, it's a nice truck, but it doesn't stick to the road as well as this one with the day cab. That's one of the reasons why I don't use it nearly as much. And I'm not 100% on the price either. Like 70 grand for this seems a bit more likely than $5,500. So maybe it's just my opinion, but that's just the way I feel about it. So the other thing we could do, well, we could sell a slurry, but I don't know if it's really worth it or not. So far, it hasn't been. Last time, well, we got the trailer, so we probably should use it too. Then there's no great demand coming up for slurry, so. Is there? Let me just double check. I wasn't even sure. There we go, finally. Why do I always do that? Barley's the next one that comes up. I don't know if we have any barley. No. Could plant barley, I suppose. Alright. I keep wanting to look back as if there's like a space where I can look back there. In a truck, you really wouldn't be able to do that at all. So I don't know why I continually try to do it. This is the same trailer actually that Caravera 76, I believe the number is, and Hitman 82 and Fadman are using on their, I think, Pleasant Valley map. Same idea, although I modded it to take 100 cows and 100 pigs, and they're just using the standard one there. I'll show you the other route that I took the other day, which is over here. This is how I record the course play. I have them coming over this way for whatever reason. I just didn't want to cross the other bridge, so I decided to bring them this way. The problem with doing that in this case is that it goes up an enormous hill. So. Now, if I could course play selling the pigs, I probably would. The reason why I can't is because you have to back up to get to the doors where they load on. I could probably course play everything else though, but it's only 2 loads. It's not a big deal, so I'm not too worried about it. And this is what will probably happen in farming. You would take a load of pigs to the market, or take a load of cows to the market, or contract a driver out. So apparently we're getting a bit of air here. Alright, 78,000. Alright, so we are back in business with 95 grand. This is good. Do we have any more wheat? We have 1 more load of wheat to go to market. This is good. We have 400,000 liters of soybeans again. Goodness gracious. What's the price of soybeans? We could almost do that too. Um, where are we here? Soybeans. 792. Yeah, it's a little low right now, so it's not worth selling the soybeans. So I'll have to wait for the next until it returns to its glorious price of 1,000 plus. Oh man, I've been like I said last episode, I've been checking out some maps, seeing what's what. I still haven't chosen a big map yet. I have one that's kind of it's a possible one, but I've definitely chosen the small map. I need to do some last final thoughts about how I want to start on that map and whatnot. But other than that, it's pretty much good to go. And I'm gonna try and do more realistic on that map. Keyword being try. It is a bit different than playing regularly, but I'm not. So I don't have the more realistic mod installed. Really? Oh man. There we go. I don't have the more realistic mod installed. Like there's the there's the realistic vehicles and then there's a realistic mod. I have the realistic vehicles installed, but not the mod itself because it does change the price of how much things sell for. So that's the reason why it is removed. We discussed that last season on the Serbian farm. So we're gonna leave that part out, but use the other parts of it basically. So. Alright. I'm going to leave that truck there for the time being. I think he's going to be out of the way. Just going to turn him off here. While those pigs are loading. I'll do that off camera so you don't have to see me do it twice in one episode. What we'll do is we'll deal with these chickens. Because we have not given our chickens water and they're getting close to needing some more water. It's funny. The funny thing about chickens in this particular, well, any map really, is you give them, whether they have water or not, they are peachy. They do not need anything else. They're like, yeah, just you know, have some chickens and then yeah, you're good to go, basically. All right. We could actually, now that I think about it, this is empty. Maybe we'll deal with that actually, because our cows need some more TMR. Right. Wrong tractor. Tell how much I've driven this tractor in the last little while. Jeez. I have to make all the little changes I would normally already have made because I've been playing with it, but I haven't played with this particular tractor much. Alright, so let's grab a bale of hay. Actually, this would probably be more like baleage in this case because I just baled it when it was green as opposed to letting it dry. I'm not an expert though. As was very obvious the other day when I mentioned about the on the silo with the blowers, I think it was I was talking about. Is it locked? Yeah, there we go. Yeah, I mentioned it, they were called blowers, and they actually dried the grain. But as I mentioned last episode, Craft Farms pointed out that they're actually not meant for drying the grain per se, but more circulating air. So, I'm still learning. I know some things about farming, but I'm no expert, that's for sure. Alright. There we go. That is one. How much does that hold? 6,000. Oof. That's going to fill that up pretty easily. That is indeed going to fill that up quickly. You can hear the beeping sound in the background. It is the backhoes in the parking lot, again, of my apartment building. They are currently cleaning off the snow. It hasn't snowed here, which is the funny part, though. We definitely have some cold temperatures lately. I don't know what it would be in Fahrenheit. Actually, that's not true. I think I do know. We had minus... in Celsius, it was minus 26, I think it was. Minus 26. Something in that area. Just to give you an idea. And I think that is roughly... Sorry, I had to concentrate there to get that bale off without tipping over. And I think in Fahrenheit, it's minus 16 Fahrenheit, somewhere in that, around there. So needless to say, it was pretty chilly. We've gotten some pretty cold weather here. It happens every now and then. You get a cold snap, as we call it up here. Yeah, we got a cold snap, so basically all the temperatures just dropped like there's no tomorrow. Alright, so he's at 12,000 now. If I fill the rest up with silage, he should be okay, but we're going to find out. I think if I continue on this map for any length of time, I'm definitely going to change this out for something else. Because I want to make my life easier, not more difficult, and I don't know why I didn't do it in the first place. There we go. And what I'm referring to is the having the, what the heck is it called? The self-propelled mixing, it's not a wagon, but the self-propelled mixing station, or whatever you want to call it. I'm gonna get one of those. I don't know how much they cost though. Let's just check quickly. That is an in-game one. They actually do have ones that are mods, but they're not really, would it be feeding technology, I guess? No, I'm so used to going to mods. Yeah, 136,000. It doesn't hold quite as much, but it will feed our cows. 136,000. This is just sitting here. Yes, it is. And that's because that's the last load. Let's just hop back in here. We'll see. We'll see. Let's just see what happens when we fill up our mixing wagon with silage to see how much we get. I'm kind of curious now, because this will be the first time that we've used both two big bales. Because before we were mixing and matching kind of idea, and not just using big squares. So we'll see what happens. I am kind of curious. And this does look kind of ridiculous on this tractor. This is a bobcat thing, not a tractor thing, but it'll have to do. Alright, let's walk back to our farm all here and load him up with a bit of silage and see where he gets to. Alright. Oh, goodness. Alright. And if we do get that self-propelled mixing, the Kuhn self-propelled, what do they call it? Mixing, self-propelled silage cutter and mixing wagon. I don't know why I keep mixing up the word mixing wagon. I don't know why. If we do get it, I'll probably will sell this farm all, because the farm all was used basically for this machine that we have attached to it. So if we buy a machine that does it in a self-propelled fashion, that kind of makes the farm all a bit redundant. Therefore, we don't really need it. So we'll see what happens. Alright, so let's just drive, whoops, right behind the John Deere here. No, didn't give us a good mix. Those bales are just too big. They need to be about, I don't know, 15% smaller. Oh well. We'll give this to our cows and see what they like about it. That's the problem without using the mixing station. Like, even if I use buckets, actually, it wouldn't even make a difference, because I filled up the rest of this mixing wagon with silage, so it wouldn't have made a difference either way. If I were using smaller bales, then it'd be a bit easier, but it'd be a bit more painful, because then I'd have to move more bales. So you win some, you lose some, I suppose. Alright, ooh, we're getting close to the mixing wagon. But I think we'd run into the same problem with the mixing wagons, I think, because the bales are just big. Alright, that will probably give us, yeah, grass and silage for our cows. That's fine. They will like that. Excellent. 126,000. Someone was suggesting that I get an overloader and use the John Deere. I think the person meant this John Deere here. To pull the overloader, and that is definitely a possibility. I could do that. Articulated and overloaders don't always work well together, because what you have to do is when you line up, well, with courseplay at least, when you line up the overloader to where you want them to drop off into the tipper, you kind of run into a problem sometimes. So I don't particularly like using articulated tractors. Basically, that's what I'm getting to. All right, let's just leave him here for the time being. Let's just pop back over to here, and we'll back this guy up a little bit, because we are not going to do this again, because we're not going to get the right mix. But what we are going to do is we're going to give our chickens and everybody else some water, because I have not given them some water in a little bit. And we want to keep our chickens hydrated, because it is, I don't know what the temperature is here in the game, 16 degrees Celsius. It's kind of cold, actually. Wow. Whoa. Gotta be careful. We're driving like a maniac. 16 degrees is kind of like a bit below. Room temperature in Celsius, I believe, is like 21 degrees roughly, depending on who you talk to. So that gives you an idea as to how cold that is. It's not cold, but it's not. It'd be a really nice day. I would really enjoy it, but not everybody would. Let's just say that. Alright, so let's back up this to our chickens and give them some glorious water. Alright. I was reading a newspaper today, got a farmer's forum again, and it was a really interesting article about CSA, which stands for Community Supported Agriculture, depending on where you look up the definition. Anyways, what they were saying was they have a website for a group of farmers that want to do CSAs online, basically. So the interesting thing is, they use 192 liters of water. Oof. One of the interesting things was basically it's like it wasn't just one farmer on this website. It was like multiple farmers on this website, and they all came together and supplied different goods. So like a beef farmer would supply beef, and a dairy farmer would supply milk, etc., etc. And basically, as a consumer, you would just go to the website and decide what you wanted based on the website itself, and then you'd go from there. So if you wanted certain things, you would select it, and they would deliver it to your house as well. Anyways, the interesting part about the article was the fact that the amount of money that was made, or percentage, I should say, not the amount. The percentage of money made through the website was like, for some people, depending on what they sold, it was anywhere between like 20 and like 30%, which is quite a lot, actually. One farmer in the article said he sold $5,000 worth of beef last year, and then the year after that, or no, it wasn't last year. It was the first year he started. He sold $5,000 worth of beef, and then the second year he did it, he's doubled it. So he went to $10,000. Now to make $10,000 from an online thing, from a website, is pretty awesome. So those would be the cows, in his case, that particular farmer's case, that you wouldn't sell to the market. You would sell directly to the consumer. So it's pretty cool, actually. I thought that was pretty interesting. And I'm really happy that farmers are going in that direction a bit more, because I know some farms don't even have a website, which is kind of, in my opinion, a bit lame. But I grew up with websites all over the place, so that's why, in my opinion, it is a bit strange, let's say, for a business, because a farm is a business, to not have a website. Actually, you know what? Let's go use this for the very first time. There's actually a place where you can get water right here. I've just never used it. Let's see if it costs us money, though. That would be the interesting part. Yes, it does. So we're not going to fill up there. That's weird. We have a pond. Let's go use our pond instead. Anyways, yeah, so I think it's kind of interesting to see that some farmers don't have a website at all. It kind of makes me a bit sad, because farmers could definitely take advantage of the fact that if you have a website, you can get more business to your farm, basically. So depending on what type of farm and what type of person you are as well. I know some farmers who don't want anything to do with people coming to see their farm or not being public about what they do. Not because they do anything bad, just because they're just private people. It has nothing to do with doing bad things or anything like that. It's just that they don't want to broadcast their whole life on the internet. Is what it boils down to. And I totally respect that, because a lot of people are like that. They don't want to, broadcast their life online. So, but if you want to run a successful, profitable business, in my opinion, it definitely helps to have a website. While I wouldn't say it's crucial, it definitely can make an impact on garnering new business. Anyways, that's my rant about websites. Sometimes even having a bad website. I don't know. I don't know if you guys have ever done this, but I have looked at jobs before. When I was looking for a job, I would look up what the job said, and I'm like, okay, that's kind of cool. Whatever. Sounds like an interesting job. And then I would, come on now. There we go. And then I would go check their website out. And if the website was not a very nice looking website, it would actually turn me off the company. I don't know if you guys do that. Oh, a darn gate. I don't know if you guys do that, but I definitely do. I definitely check out a website. If the website looks bad, they're really outdated, it's like, what does that say about the company? It means they don't really care about the website. Don't really care about their appearance and whatnot. So that's how I feel about that. So that's one reason why I'm of the feeling of you should have a nice website, or not necessarily. It doesn't have to be super super nice. Like, you can hire people these days to make a website for you easily enough. I was actually thinking about making a website for farming, not necessarily Farming Simulator, but just for as a repository for my mods, so you could check out which mods I have, stuff like that. I was considering doing that, but I'm not sure whether it's worth it or not. There we go, good. So, let me know what you think about that. If you think that might be something you might be interested in. If you would even check the website out if I were to put it together, because I know what happens is people say they'll do stuff sometimes and they don't, so we've all been there before. So, if it's something you truly think you would check out, let me know. And if there's enough people interested, I'll put something together. It's not that difficult. Well, I've done it more than once now, so it's not a huge thing for me. So, why do I keep doing that? I don't want to hit that. I want to turn the tractor off. Alright, so our chickens are taken care of, our cows are taken care of, our pigs are taken care of as well. I think what we'll do is we will stop the episode there, friends. My name's Ian Robson. This has been Farming Simulator 2013, and what we'll do is we shall return next episode, and what I'll do is I'll do a little bit of selling of stuff off camera, so you don't have to watch me do it repeatedly, and we'll come back and hopefully we'll get an overloader, I think, and maybe something else. We'll see. Alright, got you guys later.